And this is a poem called Winter, as the sun blesses us and the light changes. And of course, living in Delhi, it's a very, very hot space. 10 months of the year is hot, and it can peak. The temperatures can go as high as 52, 53. It's crazy. It's just. So, in a sense, the winter months are, for us, the most beautiful months, and it lasts for only 1.5 months or so. So, this is a poem called Winter. It's probably a poem about yearning, it's probably a poem about various things. Winter. Couched on crimson cushions, pink bleeds gold, and red spills into one's heart. Broad leather keeps time, calibrating different hours in different zones, unaware of the grammar that makes sense. Only random woofs and snores of two distant dogs on a very cold night clears fog that is unresolved. New plants wait for new heat to grow, to mature. An old cane recliner contains poetry for peace, woven text keeping comfort in place. But it is this impatience of want that keeps equations unsolved. Heavy, translucent, vaporous, split red by mother tongues. Winter's breath is pink.
Very nice.
I'll read a poem which is part of my series of writing on erotica.
Okay.
Um, we were talking about the world becoming regressive as we are going along. And I come from a country where, the Kama Sutra was written, the manual of the lovemaking, so to speak. And, there are these wonderful ancient and medieval temples with carvings of these erotic sculptures. And and they were celebrated. These were celebrated by the gods and the people. I mean, they're gigantic pieces of sculptures, poetry in stone, really. And now people are trying to cover them up, and they're deleting and editing, and it's astonishing how we can't even grapple with sexuality in a way that which was much more free and acceptable in those times. And when you read the poetry of, say, Sappho, the Greek poetess, incredible feminist, probably the first feminist poets that are writing about same-sex love. You read Tamil Sangam poets of ancient India, and that they talk about spiritual love, courtly love, flesh love, lust love, all in this sort of wonderful symphonic space. And how it's now so divided between normal and pornography, as if there's nothing in between. It's a shame, really, because erotica is actually poetic. It's beautiful. It says just, it stops just short of things, and there's that lovely magic. So I told myself, let me give myself a challenge. Let me try writing some erotic poems or erotica and see how it goes, because I just think it's such a beautiful space to explore. And it's a very difficult space because you have to skate on this thin razor edge
Mm.
line. If you undercook it, it becomes like callow love poetry we might have written in school and college. And if you push it too far, then you enter the P space.
Mhm.
So how do you dance in that space? So this one is one of the poems which is part of the series, and this one's called Desire. Under the soft, translucent linen, the ridges around your nipples harden at the thought of my tongue. You, lying inverted like the letter C, arch yourself deliberately, wanting the warm press of my lips. It's wet to coat the skin that is bristling, burning, breaking into sweats of desire, sweet juices of imagination. But in fact, I haven't even touched you. At least, not yet.
Very good.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I wrote a book called The Fall. In the very first scene, the couple get married, and I'm trying to build something in the same kind of way, because something tragic happens, but it happens at that point where you think there's going to be ecstasy in the same kind of way. So, but it was a very difficult piece to try and write, especially in the very first chapter of a book that you're actually writing.
No, I'd love to read it.
Yeah, so I must get it. I'll try and get you a copy.
Yeah, that'd be great.
But it was something that was very important because it was to indicate that marriage was important in the philosophy I was using, and although the story is told within that, it was how something corruptible came in just at the moment where it should have been bliss, and that was the story that I was trying to tell. Now, it might have been very awkward in the way that I presented it, but it was something that was quite interesting. And again, it's interesting listening to the words that you're saying there, that you're painting enough of a picture. It's like you said earlier on, where you don't give all the details, you give enough for the person, the audience, to paint the rest of the picture themselves.
You see, the audience and the reader is far more intelligent than we think they are. They are really recreating or creating the story you're writing. And everybody has a different interpretation and a different vision of the story you've written, or the poem you've written. That's the beauty of art, the universality of art. You can come from a very specific point, but if you're trained well and have the right tools, you know how to calibrate things. It's much like editing. What you leave out. It's like sound mixing, do you want the bass higher, the treble lower, and the mid-range, mid-tones to be modulated in a particular way? It's, again, we're talking about the same set of things and rules. So the people who are really good at it are very, very subtle. You don't have to say much. Often it's just there, one little glance, one word here, one phrase there, that's enough.
We have more on the way, so please subscribe to this channel and check out the link below if you'd consider becoming a patron to help us keep making more content. Thanks for watching.